good? Recording. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aldwyn. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction that I wrote myself. Have you ever felt that you have a great message, story or product and not enough people know about it? Show of hands. Thank you. And have you also felt that there's way too much negative media out there in the mass media news? Yeah, thank you. Well, I've found that in my 35 years media experience. I know I don't look a day over 25, stop it, thank you. I've found that we have been taught that bad news sells, or that if it bleeds, it leads. And in an age of fight or flight, that may be the case. However, now there is a whole new world of media that has happened. Facebook only started in 2004. That's 15 years ago. Now we have 2.4 billion people on Facebook that are influencing the news. Who's on Facebook here? Show of hands. Thank you. That would be everyone here is on Facebook. And in fact, out of the 7.5 billion people in the world, there's nearly 3 billion social media users now who are influencing the way that traditional media report the news. With traditional media, I mean TV, radio, print, and magazines. That's traditional media. And now what we're starting to see is there's a merging of traditional media with social media. And we can all impact the way that the media is being seen. Research has actually shown that negative news affects people in a very negative way, not just mentally, but emotionally and physically. It actually causes more anxiety and depression. Personally, I have had depression and I have had 4 friends take their own lives. There's actually 1 million people worldwide who take their own lives every year globally. That is a crazy statistic. And I believe that it's our purpose and our reason and it's our mission even to be able to impact that, to impact the way people do life. And the media is just so powerful in influencing that. And what a lot of people are not getting now is that you can impact the media and you can get free publicity. So why publicity? Why publicity? Well, you can target your message to your ideal clients with publicity. Who's in business here? Just show of hands. Thank you. Yeah. With publicity, whether it's traditional media you're going out to or whether it's online media such as podcasts or online news channels, you can actually target your message ideally to your avatar or your ideal client. And there is actually a whole resurgence now of good news media that's actually starting to happen, which is very exciting. We have the Good News Network now, we have Happy News, we have Sunny Skies News, and major media conglomerates like Huffington Post and MSN and news.com.au have good news segments now. And you can get your media out there on those channels to your ideal clients. Also, now in the world of online media and billions of dollars of people being scammed online nowadays, you can actually build trust and credibility like never before by having publicity. Because when people look for you and look to do business with you, they are going to be Googling you. And what are they going to find when they Google you? Are they going to find you reported in the mass media positively? Or are they going to see negative stories out there? Also, your influence and confidence in yourself will grow also when you get publicity. Also, you'll increase your business and cash flow with publicity. It's one of the fastest ways you can do that. Who's time poor here? Sure, thank you. Yeah, a lot of people are time poor, so you want to be leveraging yourself with the power of the mass media. You say your message once and you can reach thousands of people with your message. Such is the power of publicity. And in fact, when Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, appeared on Oprah, at the end of the 1 hour show with Oprah, Oprah turned to Robert and said, "Congratulations, Rich Dad, you've just sold 1 million books." Publicity is absolutely powerful. Now, when I'm talking about publicity, I'm talking about having journalists write stories about you as opposed to spending money, wasting money on advertising. Stories covered by a journalist are actually worth 3 to 8 times more than you will pay in advertising. So if you think of how much money you may have spent in advertising, who's spent some money in advertising here? Thank you. Yeah, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars for advertising anywhere you go in the world. For a half-page newspaper story, or a half-page newspaper ad is worth about $2,000. So if you times the value, we'll just say 5 times today, times it by 3 to 8 times is about the stats on what it's worth. So we'll say times it by 5. So if you're paying $2,000 for a half-page ad, a story that goes in half-page in a newspaper is worth $10,000 roughly. So it's very, very valuable to have a third-party report on you, because it's much better to have someone else saying you're amazing than you saying you're amazing to the media, right? Now, the cost of advertising is absolutely huge. And I'll just put all these up here. So if it's just a 30-second spot on TV, people are paying $25,000 in Australia alone. For radio, a 60-second spot is $500. You can see these stats. It's basically thousands of dollars. And then there's digital advertising. Now, who's doing Facebook advertising here? Thank you. So a lot of people are spending thousands of dollars also on Facebook advertising. And hands up still if it's actually working well for you. Okay, 1 person out of 4. And that's about what I see, is that actually Facebook advertising is not working that great for people nowadays. So how do you get heard among all the noise out there and get seen? Well, you need to use the power of publicity. So I've got 3 steps to publicity I'd like to cover with you today. The first is your product. What is your awesome? What is it that when you tell people your story, they say, wow, that's amazing, tell me more about that? And you all have a story. Every single person has a story here. In fact, just by being born, you are 1 in a billion just by being born. You are extraordinary. And I believe that you all have a great message to share. And if you're not using publicity to your advantage, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And there will be business also going to your competitors or others in your industry who may be seen as the expert because you're not using this tool powerfully. You want to, when you look at your product, you need to look at what is it you want to promote or sell. And what's your story? What is your unique story? For example, Stephen Esser is a guy I worked with. He's known as the webinar guy. And when we looked at his story, 5 years previously, he had been a panel beater in the western suburbs of Sydney, and he was close to broke. And then 5 years later, he was now a multi-millionaire. So how did he do that? Well, he used webinars. Another angle for his story is that he created a software called Webinator, which enabled him to automate webinars. And then the third angle was he was doing an event across Australia and New Zealand called Web Business Breakthrough that was helping people take their offline businesses online. So there are 3 angles we used for him. Now with Stephen Esser, we got him on TV. He's an online marketer. But with a 6-minute TV spot, it was worth $1.5 million in free publicity. And now forever in his marketing, he can say as seen on TV. You only have to appear once and you can use it forever in your marketing. It's very powerful. Next thing you want to do is package it up. So you need a press release. Now you can get media without a press release, however you take the chance that the media will get your facts wrong. So if you want to ensure that the media are going to get your facts right, you want to have a press release covering your story. The next thing you need is some good photos or visuals. Whether you're going to radio or TV with your story, you need to think about this because radio also are putting a lot of their stories now online as well, and they're sharing them also onto social media. And the next thing is pitch. Now you've got 45 seconds to get the media's attention when you're pitching your story. So you need to be very succinct when you put your story out there. And also, what are you passionate about? Personally, I love good news, as you've seen. I actually started a Global Good News Day on the 8th of the 8th last year. As we've got the next Global News Day coming up this year, and I invite you to join the good news movement and actually go to facebook.com/The Good News Day and promote your good news on a daily basis. Every single day, we can impact the world around us with the good news that we share. And also inspiring action for animals. I started the world's first Animal Action Day in 2007, and I've since raised millions of dollars worth of publicity for 12 different animal causes that I've aligned with every single year. And that's all to inspire action for the humane treatment of animals worldwide. So what is it that you're passionate about, that you want to make a difference in the community? What sort of charities can you align your business with to get free publicity? The third step is profit. By using publicity effectively, your business can just go out of control profit-wise. Now, this is just one client I worked with, Aussie Mega Mall. By working with them, I helped gain an online business, gain them over 40 media spots in just a short amount of time. And in the last 3 years, their business has gone from 875,000 products in 3,500 Australian stores to now 8 million products in 32,000 online stores. They're now a competitor to Amazon, and in fact the media are now contacting them as the expert in this field. So that's what can happen, is that media feed off media. Then you want to make sure that you get coverage of your media appearances and use that in your social media to also help profit, and tag the media outlets when you do social media. Once you do that, these are the benefits. You can achieve fame, fortune and freedom and leave a legacy with what you do. This is the logo to look out for on Facebook, Good News, facebook.com, The Good News Day. As we say here, to be inspired is great, to inspire is incredible. And you inspire people every day, whether you realise it or not. You know, there's 3 friends that took their own lives, 4 friends that took their own lives now. They had hundreds of people at their funeral. They had no idea how many people they impacted. This really is what it's all about. I believe in the power of one, and I believe in you. May your flame burn bright and light up all those around you.
Aldwyn, I remember first meeting you, it was a couple of years ago now.
Yes.
And the difference is remarkable. I remember you were quite emotional in those early days.
It still happens.
Okay, but what I saw up here was effectively a masterclass in being natural and in the moment. You were unbelievably natural and in the moment. The Aldwyn we got up here is exactly the Aldwyn that we get when we're talking in the corridor with you. All right? And that is a significant achievement, and I really want you to feel the gravity of what I'm telling you right now. Okay? In fact, well, I tell you where I saw it mostly. Like you were smiling, like you're a good news lady, and you were looking good news. Like you are your message. Like I've often said that our lives are our sermon. Okay? But not only that, but when you transitioned to you talked about your 4 friends, 4 people you knew had committed suicide, and then 1 million people around the world every year. Each time you paused and let us, in other words, you allowed us to feel it, didn't dwell on it too long, but it was just perfect. Like, I've mentioned, Jodie and I have mentioned a few times where, you say something that really hits us, you move on quickly, but the person moves on very quickly, but we're still there. Well, you allowed us that space to reflect and then move on with you. It was absolutely perfect. Probably the most important thing is your slides, right? You are almost using your slides as prompts,
Right.
as a teleprompter.
Right.
I want you to be a whole lot more graphic. Okay, this is an example. While you're speaking, we're reading that, the channels clash.
Right.
You could solve that. What's important? Okay? 875,000
Yeah.
3,500,
Yeah.
8,032,000. Turn into an infographic.
Right.
Okay? With an arrow saying, good news story.
Right.
See that?
Yeah.
So there was a number of cases.
Let's see, there's a 2.
Things like that. Watch
Right.
low contrast fonts. I tell you why.
Right.
When things are hard to read, you make us think more. The more we think, the more we're in our thinking brain, the more skeptical we are. The more that's up on the screen, the more we need to look at, the more skeptical we are. The more you make us think, the more skeptical we are.
Right.
When you stop us from thinking, okay, like Rachel did when she was playing, that we just accept anything you say. That's a critical thing. When you get us in our thinking brain, we go into analysis mode and we're looking for faults. When we're just feeling and we're accepting, our guard goes down. Okay? And your talk is absolutely ideal for that. Okay? So all you need to do is just make your slides so much simpler, so much easier to read, less information, right? And use infographics. You've got time to do that between now and tomorrow. Right? But I don't want you to lose sight of the remarkable achievement in your own stage style that you've achieved in the last couple of years. Well done.
Well done, Aldwyn. I thought it was great. What I do when I was, what I did, I think more so with you than with other people, is I was looking at the what, the how, the why, and the who. Because it's because of the way you structured it, it's very like what you do, how you do, why. But what was missing right until the end was the who. So I think you need to make sure in your intro that you're very credible about who you work for and who the audience, who your normal audience is. So normally your business owners.
In the intro, it actually says it says a whole lot about it.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that it wasn't clear until the end. When you got to the call, you get to all the slides at the end, and then you're going, these are all the things. You've got the product, the package. Well, I'm like, who are we?
Yes. Yeah. It's got in my intro: speakers, authors, experts.
Great. Okay. So that'll cover it.
Yeah.
There are too many slides.
Okay.
So I think let's just have a quick look. So you start there. You've got that. That's okay. There's probably a bit too much text on there. That's too much text.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So cut some words out of that. Cost of advertising in Australia. I think that's fine if you just click through, but you need to give us time to.
You can animate that.
Yeah, just so you do one click. You don't go. I'm going to click through. Just
I'll just
put animations in. Yeah, good transitions. Devian's already covered that one. There's so much going on in these.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, another one with different colours and different. There's no branding. There's no consistency. There's no branding. There's no same.
Okay.
Yeah. So because of that, less is best. So you've just got too much going on. You've got this little box over here with the press release image. You've got the little thing down here with the microphone and the stuff. You've got three different size fonts, 3 different colours. It's just too much, too different. And then they're your logos. I get that. Yeah, you don't need to put profit and profit.
Okay.
You can just put 3 and have the image there. Demian's already addressed that one. That one you don't need.
Okay.
That one you don't need. And this is where people get that you're using that for your content. Because you went, now I've got to talk about this.
Right.
So still talk about it, but you don't need a slide for it.
Okay.
And you don't need a slide for that either. At the end. You don't need that slide.
Okay.
We want to be looking at you, not the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the other thing, this is right at the beginning now, when you come onto the stage and say thanks for that introduction that I wrote, it's not original.
No, I know.
And people don't laugh. And when you think tomorrow, we've all heard Sam say it, we are the audience and we've all heard him say it, the panel.
Okay.
Rebecca Tapp put Sam on the stage for 10 years. She has heard that 10,000 times.
Okay, so I think something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It might be because I'm sitting here. I didn't get the link between the book and what you were saying.
Oh,
the book is Elevate Your Mindset, and this is all about media. And I spent most of the time focusing on that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know whether you introduced, hey, I've written this
#1
bestseller in this, but today I'm talking about this in your introduction or at the beginning. But that's a really complete the whole way through for me.
In my intro, it says I appear in 8 compilation books, and that's one of them. So that's
I would just when you do the networking thing at the end of tomorrow, have that with you. But
Right.
it has no relevance.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
I missed it. I didn't even know it was connected. Like I totally missed the book because I didn't know it was connected.
Yeah. Well, it's not. 'Cause it's not.
It's not.
It's just in my
It's
intro.
connected to Aldwyn, but not to what
I just thought I have a display there to show that I've done a book, you know.
Yeah. Well,
It's just-
David asked me the same question because
Yeah.
David's a fiction author. And I said,
Yeah.
no, it's got no, if it doesn't relate, then don't confuse us.
Right.
You've got enough going on up there
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
without
All right.
adding another layer.
Okay. Cool. All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Good job.
Congratulations. Thank you.